What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Maple Leafs Media. I'm Jake Varco, and this was a historic night for the Toronto Maple Leafs franchise. Auston Matthews does it again. He has set the single season goals record for the Toronto Maple Leafs, a storied franchise with over 100 years of history, and now he's in some elite company. He already was before, but now we can legitimately have the discussion about Auston Matthews becoming one of the greatest Toronto Maple Leafs players of all time. This is, in my opinion, and maybe this is a bit biased because Auston Matthews has been the star of my generation. He's been the star that, I've had the luxury of watching the most. But Auston Matthews, in my opinion, uh, he, this season specifically, has been the best in this franchise's history. Frank Rusty Nails, yeah, definitely a big congratulations to Auston Matthews. Well deserved honor, and what a way to do it. What a way to set the franchise record in goals. Amazing night tonight for Auston Matthews. Wow. I mean, he had 12 shots on goal tonight. That's a career high for Auston Matthews. 12 shots on goal. There was no way he was leaving Texas without setting this franchise record. And then he tacked on another one. It's just amazing to watch. And you knew once he got the first one, he wasn't done. He was not done after that. Uh, in overtime, once it got to overtime, you kind of got the feeling he was going to do something. And he did. He emerged as the star that he is. I guess that's kind of ironic. Going past the Dallas Stars and driving hard to the net. What a way to do it. Beautiful goal for his 56th goal of the season. Outstanding. Toronto Maple Leafs, this was the 71st game of the season. Still 11 games to go. So Auston Matthews, sky's the limit for him. I think that he's probably going to get to the 60 goal mark this season, and something that's never been done before in this franchise's history of over 100 years. So that's really an amazing thing. I'm going to get into the first star of the game because you know who it is. First star of the game is Auston Matthews. No doubt about it. 2 goals, 12 shots on goal. Uh, Dominant out there. And on the Maple Leafs power play, they're kind of force feeding him the puck, but that's understandable when you have someone who's just about to set a milestone, set a new record. He did it. He got it out of the way. And now anything else is just icing on top, icing on the cake. Wow. It's just a miraculous effort from Matthews. And Miles Tech Talk with the donation. Thank you. Thank you, Miles Tech. Let's go, Matthews. Go, Leafs, go. Yeah, amazing night from Auston Matthews. And uh, just something that we've become accustomed to seeing Auston Matthews just constantly. Frank Rusty Nail says Matthews wants it bad now. He wants to keep going. Good on him. Yeah, I mean he looks motivated. He really looks motivated out there. It's amazing. He's really trying to set some new franchise records. Like I think not only does he want to set the franchise record, but he wants to destroy it. He wants to just he wants to get over 60 goals. Who knows? He might have 70 on his mind. Eric Ralph says score 50 and 50 against the Habs Saturday night to put icing on the cake. Yeah, he has the opportunity to score 50 goals in 50 games. That's just something that's amazing, especially in today's NHL. 50 goals in 50 games. We'll see if he can do it. And I would definitely wouldn't bet against it if I was someone gonna place a bet against Auston Matthews. That'd be a silly thing to do. I actually did have a bet tonight, and that was Auston Matthews to score 2 or more goals. Paid off. I had a feeling tonight that Auston Matthews he was going to break the record, but when Auston Matthews does something like that, when he does something specially, sets a new milestone, he just likes to add on to it, and he likes to go above and beyond, and it's really amazing to see. Uh, all the things that he's done in a Maple Leafs uniform. Leafs fans knew that the Toronto Maple Leafs had something special from day one when he broke into the NHL, scored 4 goals in his NHL debut. And here we are today, 6 years later, in 2022, April 7th, 2022, Auston Matthews sets a new franchise record. And Dorky Dave, on a less positive note, says, "What happens if he comes up short again in the playoffs? Is this year success for okay? Is this year a success still for him?" And you know what, Dorky Dave, just the way that I look at it, like individually, yes, it would be a successful season still. I mean, obviously, he set the franchise record in goals. It's pretty hard to say that it wouldn't be. And did he come up short in the playoffs last year? Yes, but so did the rest of the team. That wasn't just Auston Matthews. Auston Matthews got shut down. He needed to do more in the playoffs last season. So did Mitch Marner. So did a long list of players. But I mean, I would still consider this individually a successful season. I don't think there's any way that you can't uh, consider it that. If you break the goals record for a storied franchise like the Toronto Maple Leafs, it has to be a successful season individually. Uh, the playoff success, if he can score some goals, that'd be great. I mean, the way that he's playing with confidence, he's exuding confidence right now, and I'd expect that to carry over into the playoffs. We're gonna see. I mean, right now, I would suggest if you're a Maple Leafs fan, just enjoy what you're watching in Auston Matthews on a nightly basis because it's something else. He's like a cyborg sent from some planet we've never heard of just to score goals. It's amazing. Jack Trout says playoffs are a whole new season. That's right, Jack. It's a whole new season. It's a whole new game, and the Maple Leafs are hoping to carry over into that new season, that second season, the real season that matters, the playoffs. Frank Rusty Nails says it's annoying the talk out there Matthews will leave when his contract is up. His chemistry is so high with Marner, they want to play together, and it will be in Toronto. And I mean that's an opinion, Frank Rusty Nails. I'm not going to say that Matthews is going to leave. I'm not going to say that he's going to stay because honestly, I don't know. I don't know how this contract situation is going to play out. We've still got time uh, to witness Auston Matthews in Toronto, even if he does leave. So my suggestion to everybody is just enjoy what you're watching right now because he's a generational talent. This kind of goal scorer doesn't come around so often, and really, just it's annoying to talk about, yeah, because he's setting franchise records. His contract season's not up yet. We'll worry about it then. That's the way I look at it. Chris Patterson says, still worried about our goaltending situation going into the playoffs. How do you feel about it? Uh, I mean, yeah, it's still concerning. You know, Peter Mrazek sidelined, and Jack Campbell, he's not looking like the early season form Jack Campbell that we saw early in the season. So, I mean, obviously, he's not looking like the Jack Campbell we saw early in the season, and that could be a problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But their blue line's loaded. They've got so many. They're so deep up front and on that blue line. That really helps. But their goaltending, I've said this before, you can't go far in the playoffs without goaltending. And it's definitely a concern still. Jack Campbell, he's been all right. He hasn't been great since returning from that injury. He just needs to get in a groove, get some confidence over this next 11 game stretch before the playoffs begin. And David, another if he doesn't stay question. If he doesn't stay, is he still the greatest Leaf? And I wouldn't say he's the greatest Leaf of all time yet. I just said that, and I wouldn't say that because this is the greatest single season in Maple Leafs franchise history. He's not the greatest Maple Leaf ever yet. Uh, I would say there's potential that he's the best player that the Maple Leafs have ever had, but is he the greatest Leaf of all time? No, he's not yet. He's definitely making his case, climbing the list, but he's not the greatest Maple Leaf of all time yet. Jack Trout says, "I was alive for the last cup. Trust this old timer. It's a great time to be a Leafs fan." And Jack Trout, I hope so. I hope you're right about that. So, second star of the game. I mean, we've been discussing Austin Matthews for the past 11 minutes, and I'm sure we'll talk about Austin Matthews a lot more, but this is a team sport. There's plenty more to discuss when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and specifically in this game against the Dallas Stars tonight. Tonight's second star of the game, Morgan Riley. This guy's been fantastic as of late. He's doing his thing out there, and Toronto Maple Leafs best defenseman. He had a goal out there. Uh, I the other day there was a record that I posted on the Instagram page, and I wasn't able to do a post game show after the Florida Panthers game, but the record that or the milestone he hit rather was he became just the third Maple Leafs defenseman to reach 50 assists in multiple seasons. The other two being Ian Turnbull and Borje Salming. So Morgan Riley's in some elite company. This guy, he bleeds blue and white, that's for sure. He has that long-term contract extension. He's been here his whole career. And by the way, that contract extension that he just signed, it seems pretty indicative of his love for the city of Toronto. That's apparent to me that he would like to retire in Toronto. You don't just sign a contract of that length if you don't want to retire there. So Morgan Riley, a goal out there tonight, and some great defensive plays. He was all over the place. And another player, he scored the first goal of the game. Third star of the game is William Nylander. William Nylander is the third star of the game. Goal and an assist tonight. He's been he's been playing better as of late, and I know a lot of people were really getting on him when he got demoted down to the third line, and maybe that was something that he needed. Maybe he needed something to, you know, add fuel to his fire, and we'll see if he can keep this up going forward. Daryl says, "Remember, it took the Capitals many years, and they always lost to the Penguins. Once they finally get past them, they won a cup." And yes, that's true. But I do believe the Capitals were eliminated. Like I know they were always getting eliminated by the Penguins, but I believe there was a time where that was in the second or third round. So uh, obviously, the goal is a Stanley Cup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But first, they have to make it out of the first round, and they don't know their first round opponent yet. This team's got a big monkey to take off their back. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how that goes for them. Hot Tuna says Riley is a Leaf for life. Seems likely. Frank Rusty Nails again says, as long as Leafs Nation keeps supporting Jack Campbell, boost his confidence, and I'm sure he'll be solid in the playoffs. I think his issues are mentally, as I really believe his contract is on his mind. It could be. I don't want to speculate, but I do understand that Jack Campbell is someone that is very hard on himself. He critiques himself a lot, and as a goaltender, that's not what you want. You want to just exude that confidence all the time and be able to shake it off no matter what. But people are different, and Jack Campbell, we've seen that he can play at an elite level. Can he do that for an extended period of time? I don't think so. But if he gets hot right before the playoffs, he has a hot month. You never know what could happen. Patterson says, "I like the third line with Nylander and Engvall." Yep. This is interesting, Andrew. How does Riley remind you of Zach Hyman? It's an interesting. I'd like to know. Hurt Locker says 4 more goals for 60. Yeah, I mean, 56 goals on the season. That's amazing for Auston Matthews. It's the last person to score 60 goals in a season. I believe it was Steven Stamkos, and I mean Auston Matthews getting into the 60 goal club. That's elite company, really elite company. Hot Tuna says no faith in Campbell in the playoffs. Sorry. And Hot Tuna, you don't need to be sorry. I don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you. Uh, there's not a lot to be confident in the Maple Leafs goaltending situation at the moment. At the moment. As of April 7th, 2022, there's not much reason to be confident in the Maple Leafs goaltending situation. Everything else is solid, but the goaltending, it could use some it could use some work. I mean, Jack Campbell, he's shown flashes. He's shown that he can play at that high level, but can he get hot at the right moment and can he sustain that? These are all big questions that I don't have the answer for. Jack Trout, thank you for shouting that out. I did predict that at the beginning of the season. Before the season began, I did like a live preview show. I said Auston Matthews, I felt he'd get to 60 goals on the season. I just felt that he's going to come in motivated. He's been robbed of 50 goals every year up until this year, and he's almost there. 56 goals for Auston Matthews this season, set the new franchise record, and I think 60 is well within reach. Maybe even 65. Who knows with Auston Matthews? The way he scores in bunches, anything's possible, as Kevin Garnett would say. The Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, they were uh, they were rather dominant out there. They were a dominant team. The score wasn't reflective of their dominance out there. They outshot the Dallas Stars 41-18. Auston Matthews had 12 of those 18 shots, or 12 of those 41 shots, rather. So, I mean, Auston Matthews himself almost had as many shots as the Dallas Stars tonight, which is insane. The Maple Leafs, great offensively. Their defense, it was all right. It was shaky at times, but uh, just, yeah, I mean, the struggle with the Maple Leafs that I saw carry over from last game. And I mean, if anyone wants to talk about last game, we all know what happened. It was the Maple Leafs blew a 5 goal lead, up 6-1, lost 7-6 in overtime. And something that carried over was their inability to hold the lead on a much smaller scale. They had a they had 3 1 goal leads in this game. All of them disintegrated, and until Auston Matthews said that's enough, finish the game in overtime. But that's definitely a concern for the Maple Leafs. They need to clean some things up and find a way to sh- stay on top of it. Play a complete 60 minutes. Henry says 56 and 66 games is just crazy. It's amazing. It really is amazing. It's awesome to see Auston Matthews doing these things. It, it's crazy, that's for sure. It's not something that, like, if you would have told me 7 years ago that before Auston Matthews got drafted, if you would have told me that the Maple Leafs are going to have a guy that's going to be shooting for 60 goals in a season, I would have called you crazy because I think that's just scar tissue speaking. Uh, all the, all the teams that I grew up with for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they really never amounted to anything. There was a year where they went to the conference finals, but outside of that, not much. And that I was pretty young for that too. Jack Trout says playing in our own end is our biggest weakness, and that's something that they're gonna have to clean that up come playoff time because the competition is going to be a lot tougher than the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars, uh, they're all right, but there's a lot better teams that the Maple Leafs are going to be playing against. Whether that's the Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, we'll see. But definitely some much tougher competition. They got to clean that up, but I do feel that this decor is very solid, really solid blue line. The list goes on. So many talented players on that blue line and up front. The depth on this team isn't an issue. Like if someone were to get hurt, and you know, God forbid that, if someone were to get hurt, I feel like the Maple Leafs are in a better situation than they were in years past. Uh, to have someone step up and fill the skates, fill the void for that player. Definitely a better situation because last year, when Jake Muzzin went down, I mean, the team was in trouble. When John Tavares went down, and obviously that's going to be a big impact player no matter what. If John Tavares goes down at any time, it's going to impact your team in a big way. But uh, I think they have more depth to fill the voids of any injuries this season than they did last year, the year before that, and I can keep saying the year before that because it is applicable. Eric says, let's see if they can beat Montreal on Saturday. You know what? That's actually going to be a test. That will be a test for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Uh, they've not fared well against Montreal Canadiens this season at all. They're going to have an opportunity to face off against them, their biggest rivals, at home on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada. Going to be an exciting game, and Auston Matthews will be shooting for 50 goals in 50 games. Absolutely insane. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button and hit the notification bell to be notified every time new content's being released on this channel. If you're watching this on Twitter, which I now stream this on Twitter as well, you can go ahead, retweet this if you want, share this if you're on Facebook, tell a friend to tell a friend. All helps out the channel in a big way. And uh, oh yeah, tomorrow night, the Blue Jays open. Is anyone excited about that? Or is that just me? The Toronto Blue Jays open their season tomorrow night against the Texas Rangers. I know this is a hockey channel, but uh, I'm going to that game tomorrow night, and I will be making video about it on my other channel. I'm gonna make a couple videos. I'm gonna do some game coverage, uh, play-by-play reaction like I do on this channel, and I'm also going to be doing street interviews. I'm gonna go up to people. I'm gonna ask them their expectations for the Toronto Blue Jays this season. Because if you're paying attention to the betting odds at all, the Blue Jays are among the favorites to win the World Series this year. Which, I mean, that baseball team has come a long way. So definitely exciting time to be a Toronto sports fan. And the other day, you had the Toronto Raptors clinch a playoff spot. They had a big win against the 76ers tonight. So Toronto sports, it's a big time. You can talk about soccer too. Uh, Canada in the World Cup. It's a big deal right now. So I'm gonna share the link to my other YouTube channel. I just dropped it in the comment section. So if you could go check that out if you want to see my coverage of tomorrow's game, my street interviews that I'm gonna do at the Blue Jays game. Uh, check that out. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna be posting more content on that channel as well now. Not when it comes to the Maple Leafs, like that's gonna stay on this channel, but I will be discussing stuff such as uh, basketball, baseball, just anything that's not the Buffalo Bills or Toronto Maple Leafs. Big news in sports because I'm trying to get into sports journalism, so figured that'd be a good way to, you know, just get some more experience. Eric Ralph says Jays are going to explode this year. They certainly have the lineup top to bottom. They're stacked. Uh, Potentially the best infield. Okay, maybe they're not the best infield. I think that's the Dodgers, but they're among the top infields in all of baseball. But tonight, I have a graphic that I made to just show. I think you all know, but Auston Matthews tonight, the new Maple Leaf single season franchise record. And it's funny, a little funny story about this is I made this right after he hit the 55 goal mark. and I thought about putting 55 goals on it, but I just had a feeling he was going to get to 56, and I'm glad I didn't put 55 goals on it. Auston Matthews, amazing. How about the Bills channel? Yeah, Andrew, if you haven't already, to anyone here, I also have a Buffalo Bills channel. It's called The Bills Bunker. That's over 2,000 subscribers now. That it's really gained some traction, especially after what happened to the Bills in the AFC divisional game against the Chiefs. A lot of people like to see me upset. I don't know why, but people like to see me upset, and that's all right. Whatever attracts viewers. But yeah, thank you for watching this. I'm going to try to do a show Saturday night after the Habs game. I'm gonna do my best, but I can't promise anything. So as I said, drop the link to the other channel earlier in this video. Go give it a subscription, and stay tuned for some videos coming your way tomorrow night after the Rangers and Blue Jays game. And I'll try to be here Saturday night. Thank you. I'm Jake Varco. Until next time.